Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello everybody, welcome to this course on Education for Sustainable Development, that is ESD. We will discuss about the details of ESD, that is which is primarily based on UNESCO's 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So, the course is about Education for Sustainable Development. So, let us explore what are its objectives and expected learning outcomes, and thereafter we will move on to its history and background. So, because the primarily will discuss about the concepts, key concepts like the education, that is sustainability, sustainable development, UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals and education for sustainable development. So, the course objectives are primarily, that is all of you will gain about the idea and understanding of UNESCO's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and will exclusively work on or discuss on sustainable development goal 4, that is quality education for all, and all its sub contents, and you will be able to analyze how this ESD can help you to achieve SDGs 4.7 and 4.4, which exclusively deals with global citizenship and technical and vocational education. Then you will be able to link SDGs, sustainable development goals, and global partnership with all related disciplines and interdisciplinary topics. Okay. So, these are the expected learning outcomes. Whatever we have discussed about these objectives, these are all expected learning outcomes. So, now these are some of the references. You can get plenty of references in UNESCO portal and UNESCO related websites. So, now let us discuss about sustainable development goals. Most of us, we are familiar with sustainable development goals, UNESCO, and from time to time its declarations, starting from the Broadland Commission in 1987. So, we will explore a little bit history and background. We will not go into the depth of that history, but a little bit background of this UNESCO Sustainable Development Goal, which has been initiated by UNESCO along with its member countries in 2015 onwards, and the target was to meet by 2030. So, therefore, we will have a just brief discussion about the historical background of this UNESCO 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. So, these are, as you can see from this picture, these are the 17 goals. The first one is the no poverty, zero hunger, SDG 3 is the good health and well-being, 4 is the quality education, 5th is the gender equality, 6th is the clean water and sanitation, 7th is the clean and affordable energy, 8th is the decent work and economic growth, 9th is you can say it is about the infrastructure development, 10th about the reducing the inequalities, and 11th is about sustainable cities and communities, 12th is about sustainable consumptions and productions, 13 is about climate action, 14th is about marine life, 15th is about life on land, 16th is about justice, peace and institution building strong institutions, 17 is about global partnership. So, these are the some of the 17 sustainable development goals. We will have a brief discussion on this, but exclusively we will focus on ESD, that comes under quality education, SDG 4. So, the basic purpose of the sustainable development goals is to know about the global goals, which were adopted by all the member states of United Nations in 2015 as a universal declaration, to end poverty, to protect our planet, to protect our resources, to conserve our resources and preserve our heritage, culture, everything, that to ensuring that the people not only enjoy the peace and prosperity at present, but for the future generation we are also preserving it, restoring it, conserving it for the future generation. So, this is the basic idea about UNESCO SDGs. Earlier it was also the different types of goals were set by UNESCO from time to time, and the action plan was also going on, but after the monitoring and evaluation and after the scrutiny, all the member states again they decided to revise it and ultimately in 2015 with the consensus of all the member states, now UNESCO declared that these 17 goals are to be achieved by each and every country, both developing and developed country, by 2030. So, so the basic intention is to not only to protect our planet, but our planet and ecosystem, but our our society, our community, as well as our economic conditions, economic growth. So, this is the basic background of 2015 declaration of UNESCO, and all these 17 goals are somewhere related to each other, are interdependent, we can say. So, all this, so taking into account the whole domain or all the aspects of the challenges that we are facing right now, all the challenges, all the issues, all the things. So, and as per the triple bottom line parameter of sustainable development paradigm, paradigm. So, it has been primarily divided into 3 domains. One is the society, that is people, human resource. Another is you can say environment, definitely our ecosystem environment, and third one is the financial growth, financial domain, which is the economic domain, financial domain, or we can say call it as the prosperity domain. So, this people, planet and prosperity is the basic domain on the basis of which all the 17 goals have been divided, have been categorized, but all these goals are interdependent on each other, and the whole almost all the issues have been covered by these 17 goals. And UNESCO has also declared that ESD, that is which comes under SDG 4, that is education for sustainable development goal, as the key tool for educating people, for spreading awareness, for enabling all the countries and the governments and the education systems to to manifest, to achieve these 17 goals for each and every country by 2030. So, these sustainable development goals primarily these are bold commitments, all the member countries or the UNESCO's bold commitment to tackle some of the more pressing challenges that we are facing nowadays, challenges from the climate change impact to the fragile natural infrastructure, natural resources, achieving gender equality, better health, eradicate poverty, fostering peace and inclusive society, reduce inequalities, economic prosperity, then taking care of our ecosystem in terms of our marine life, as well as the taking care of our biodiversity, and building the sustainable cities, and the reducing the that means reducing the habits of unsustainable consumption and production of the products, all kinds of things. All these are related to all the 3 domains of our life, like our thinking domain, our affective domain, how do we feel about it, its value system, its requirement, etc., and the behavioral domain. So, taking into account all the domains of our behavior and activity and thought process, etc. So, we can say this SDGs, 17 SDGs it can be said called as a paradigm shift in our thought process, paradigm shift in our behavior, paradigm shift in our approach towards life, approach towards not only life, but our ecosystem. So, hence whatever pressing challenges, emerging challenges we are nowadays facing nowadays, how to mitigate those challenges, starting from our carbon emissions, global warming, to terrorism, to inequalities, to riots, to all kinds of economic slowdown, pandemic, all kinds of things, challenges that we are facing. How to resolve it, how to mitigate it. If you can only achieve all these 17 goals for every country, you can achieve individually as well as globally. Individually, that means by country wise as well as globally, if you can achieve it by 2030, then we can prosper, we can live in a sustainable world, which is not just sustainable for our present generation, but we can restore it, conserve it, preserve it for our future generations. So, these are the basic aims of UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals. So, So, this 2030 agenda for sustainable development that is adopted by United Nations 2015, it provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for the people and planet now and for future as well. So, it is the heart of this. So, as it is a heart of the 17 SDGs, which are an urgent call for actions by all the countries. So, all the countries, both developing and developed countries, they should take the responsibility of moving ahead, dealing with all these challenges and mitigating these challenges and moving towards the achievement of all the 17 goals, 17 SDGs as discussed, as explained by, as narrated by UNESCO. So, the origin of this, let us discuss what the origin of the sustainable development goals. So, the thing actually these are these goals are not just to end the poverty and other deprivation, but also go hand in hand with the strategies that improve the health, that improve the education, that improve the, that reduce inequality, that spur the economic growth, and while tackling the climate change and working climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests and everything. So, all the domains that is from the that means from the planets, all the domains like the air atmosphere to the land, to the marine life, to the to the economic growth, to education, to health, to deprivations, all kinds of and the resource depletion, everything, it includes everything. So, the SDGs actually built on the decades by the work on the countries and the United Nations, including the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Actually, it started in June 1922 with the Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay. So, at that summit, more than 170 countries, 78 countries attended and adopted Agenda 21, which is the Agenda 21, which is the comprehensive plan of action to build the global partnership for sustainable development and to improve the human lives and protect the environment. So, it started, the journey began from 1992 at Summit and held at Rio de Janeiro. Thereafter, the member states unanimously adopted this Millennium Declarations at Millennium Summit in September 2000 at United Nations headquarters, New York. So, after 92, then 2000 again all the member states, they attended this Millennium Summit, and again they decided and elaborated of the on 8 Millennium Development Goals. So, in that summit they identified the 8 Millennium Development Goals to reduce extreme poverty by 2015. So, the Millennium Development Goals MDGs primary focus was to reduce extreme poverty by 2015. Actually, it started with all kinds of the poor, impoverished and underdeveloped countries like from Africa, African countries, etc. It began the journey from there, and gradually it expands, it moves towards all the countries of the countries and continents. So, again thereafter the Johannesburg Declaration on SDGs and Plan Implementation World Summit again held in 2002 in South Africa, and again it reaffirmed the global community's commitment to end poverty and to take care of the environment and to build on the Agenda 21, which actually both Agenda 21 and the Millennium Development Goals, Millennium Declarations, by including more emphasis on the multilateral partnerships. Hence, here comes the partnership, global partnership, multilateral partnership as the vehicle, as the tool to achieve all these items of Agenda 21 as well as MDGs, So, again it was pursued in 2002 in South Africa. Then again thereafter, at the United Nations conference in 2012, June 2012, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 2012, again member states adopted the outcome document, that what kind of future we want, that they adopted this outcome document, in which it was decided that the process to develop a set of SDGs to build upon the MDGs and establish the even high level political forum for the sustainable development. So, here they actually after evaluating all these things, they found some of the gaps and of the loopholes in MDGs, that is the Millennium Development Goals. So, after analyzing and reflecting on these gaps and the shortcomings, again all the member countries they decided to again modify, revise and prepare a fresh political forum, fresh sustainable development goals based on the document, that is the future we want, and they again they tried to how to that means fill up those gaps, those shortcomings, how to overcome those shortcomings and can move ahead for achieving all other goals. They decided, they discussed on that table. So, then Rio de Janeiro also outcome also containing the other measures of implementing sustainable development goals, including the mandate of future programs, work in development, finance, all kinds of small developing states, etc. So, in 2013 the General Assembly set up a 30-member open working group to develop a proposal on the SDGs. So, the process again began in 2013 with the General Assembly based on a 30-member committee. So, regarding the development of the proposed SDG proposals. Then thereafter, so by that time Broadland Commission has also, Broadland report has also already given declarations about our common future in 1987, and the World Commission on the World Environment and Development and then Sustainable Development, all these committees reports were also referred. So, Norwegian Prime Minister's committee report, all kinds of issues, interconnected issues between the social equity, economic growth, integrated all the three areas, etc. So, primarily based on the Broadland Commission's report in declarations in 1987 on the common future, on our common future. So, they discuss about the Broadland reports, Broadland Commission's report, that means how to get the solution of the problems of environmental degradations as discussed in the Commission report, and and again to investigate the numerous concerns that has been raised in previous decades related to human activity or having the severe negative impact on the planet, that and that patterns of growth and development that would be unsustainable, and finding out all the loopholes of the Millennium Development Goals and evaluating the progress of that. Then again this 30-member committee of UNESCO, they started the journey of finalizing these sustainable development goals since 2013. So, then all these Earth summits and the Agenda 21, all these are going on. It has been started, this journey has been started since 1992. 1987, you can say that 1887 the Broadland report, Commission's report, it started all these things, and 2000, then the 2013 the journey finally begins towards the final discussion, final elaboration on the sustainable development goals. And after that, so after that these Millennium Development Goals actually the elaboration of these with the elaboration of the Millennium Development Goal, and to what extent it reduced the extreme poverty, etc., by evaluating all these things in 2015. Then again they set up that this SDGs can be replaced, the MDGs can be replaced by the SDGs, because SDG will be covering, it's more obviously it will be covering a broader issues, and so they postponing these MDGs after evaluating this progress, they move towards the SDGs. How these 17 SDGs, the categorizations began from since 2013 to 2015, they finalize it. So, they say that let us remove these MDGs, or let us take these SDGs as the replacement of the MDGs. And so, finally, in 2015 these SDGs, 17 sustainable SDGs were declared by UNESCO with the consensus of its member states. So, therefore, this 2015 has become a pivotal year. Okay. So, in 2015 January, General Assembly began the negotiation process with regard to the post development agenda and agenda for sustainable development. And subsequent adoption of 2030 agenda for sustainable development with 17 SDGs. as its core domains, under which again under each domain, each SDG, there are so many targets and subdomains, and that is the declaration took place in with the United Nations Development Summit in September 2015. So, 2015 we can say as a landmark year for the international policy shaping, multilateralism, with the adoption of several major agreements also. So, at the same year also, Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, and then Addis Ababa Action Agenda for Finance Development, 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, UN Sustainable Development Seat, and Paris Agreement of Climate Change. All these issues and all these agreements took place in 2015. Hence, 2015 in the history of UNESCO is considered as a very pivotal year or spearheading year of our present world, or the our future, I can say our proposed future world, future planet. So, the situation is right now, the situation today is the division of the Sustainable Development Goals in the United Nations Department of Economic Affairs that took place, and support and capacity building for the SDGs, and then including the water, energy, climate, ocean, urbanization, transport, science and technology, global sustainable development, and all partnership, all kinds of these thematic issues were discussed there. After which so this division of SDGs took place in the agenda implementation, with the implementation of 2030 agenda, and now it becomes a reality with the major stakeholder of the major stakeholder as the inhabitants of the that means global citizens, inhabitants of the global citizens, they become the major stakeholder of this to implement these the global goals, and to make it a reality. So, now it is the responsibility of all the countries, all the continents, as well as all the citizens of this planet. It is not just about this country, that country, or only member countries, etc., but it is the responsibilities, it is the civic responsibility, it's the responsibility of all the citizens of this planet. That is why we, all of us, we are the global citizen, and this is our responsibility, how to make our planet more sustainable, not only for the present generation, but for the future generation and the deadline, the timeline is 2030. So, let us discuss on this all the 17 goals briefly, that we will discuss in the next class. So, now this introductory session on this ESD primarily covers the brief history of UNESCO 17 goals, background, then the journey brief history since Broadland Commission's report, the origin of these SDGs, and the United Nations Conference, etc. Brief history, we discuss about the brief historical background of this SDGs and 2030 Agenda Declaration. So, now we will move on to the each and every SDGs, what comes under the main focus of this SDG, and primarily will be exclusively dealing with the ESD that comes under SDG 4, that is the quality education. How ESD plays an important role, vital role, key role in not only enhancing the awareness, educating people, changing the mindset, changing the lifestyle, but also help the people in achieving all the 17 goals for each and every country. Thank you.